Yeah, I think that the judgment that we give to other people is first and foremost, it's really hard to identify in the moment because it's usually clouded by ego and emotion and all the other noise that comes along with the conflict, whether it be internal or external, right? But I guess I bring it up because Enneagram, yes, can be used as a tool to be helpful in that moment, but it can't be the grading scale for which you assign your judgment, whether it's appropriate or not, to assign that judgment because you know that about that person. Because then that's putting somebody in a box and nobody wants to be put there. But I think for me, sometimes as a two, I don't really know how it my husband is probably one of the only people that it shows up for the most, but it's usually in a wrongful anticipation of a need that I think is there that isn't. But his inaccurate assumption for why I'm doing that is usually a trigger for like a cyclical argument where I'll anticipate a need just because it's me doing me things. And he's like, "You're doing this because blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, Actually, no, I didn't even think of that." But sometimes He'll do that same thing too. He's an eight and he'll do this thing where he gets like the guilties if he's gone a lot, whether it be for work or for other things. And he'll be like, I just want to be home. I just want to be home. And he projects on me that I'm mad about him being gone.
You must feel that way because I feel that way.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I have actually taken to being like, you're projecting on me. In this moment, I do not care. Your choice is your choice. And he's like, see, just you saying that your choice is your choice. No, just literally mean that. You're not chained to the water heater here. You're not like being forced to go anywhere. It's wild.
Even that though, like sometimes that can be interpreted as passive aggressive. And sometimes I'll tell you, I use that argument with Aaron as a little bit of like, you're going to do whatever the fuck you want to do anyway. So just do it,
So
which
just
is
do
like,
it.
it is passive aggressive in some instances. But there are other times where I'm like, I don't really, please,
Like, I don't care.
just don't do it because I don't like, I don't want to talk about it or I don't have energy for it or whatever. The five in me is like, no, I don't, you make your own decision. You're a whole ass adult.
Oh my God. And then, but for me, people who have kids might be able to resonate with this. But then I'm like, I would rather you be, I'm super excited because I'm home with them, like with 100% of the load right now. So either go enjoy yourself and shut up or come home. I don't care.
Yeah.
Pick a lane.
Yeah, it's not really serving anyone for you to feel guilty because you're not there.
No,
Or,
no,
yeah.
no.
Well, maybe we should run through the numbers a little bit
Yeah,
or the best we can in terms of this
yeah.
perception. And I think about it to hear it sometimes when I teach the Enneagram in teams where people will talk about how they perceive certain numbers and whether or not the number would fit in on their team or things like that.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that a while I had this sort of perception of ones that was like, ugh, ones, they just drive me crazy and I'm triggered by them and why can't they just let it go and whatever. And that perception of the one and the sort of rigidity that a one can have and the sort of that when they catch that one tiny little mistake where you're like, who in the world even notices that? And what I've realized in that is that was an easy way out for me in certain relationships if I knew that about a person was to be like, oh, they're a one. And that is not not one a healthy way to live and be constantly like having this bias. But then also it wasn't taking into account what I was actually being triggered by wasn't that person. It was the person that those people were reminding me of in the moment, and the sort of history associated with the red pen on a research paper or things like that. And that's my own stuff to deal with that has nothing to do with the ones in my life.
I have a soft spot for ones because I just know how hard they are on themselves, and it makes me very sad for so and I also have some one in me. I'm a acts like a one. So it's it's a bit of rigidity that can show up in me that I can appreciate about them. For me, and this goes with the mirroring thing that we were talking about, my judgment is more